Hello everybody, Reggie Time here with a 10 PLO video that's going to become a series to replace the badly thought out blog plan that I talked about in a video a couple of videos back, where my plan was to rebuild my 888 bankroll with a view to developing a coaching budget or a training budget or a learning budget for PLO. That plan's gone by the wayside because basically the plan was to grind 30 NL snap in my Sky Poker no limit downtime, and having spent maybe 4 or 5 hours grinding 30 NL snap, it just brought me to tears. I don't want to do it anymore. It was really boring. Having played on Sky, it's opened my eyes to seeing just how much fun it is to actually play in some soft ring games again, and then return to Snap, where people, it's just boring. The whole fast fold, no limit hold'em to me just bores me now. I couldn't bring myself to do it. Couldn't bring myself to do the grind. So I've slightly altered my plan, and now the plan is to pretty much exclusively just play 10 and, well, not exclusively, I'm still going to do my 15L grind on 8 on Sky Poker with a view to moving up to 100L pretty soon, hopefully. But I'm not going to, in my downtime of Sky, because Sky doesn't really have good games through the day. It doesn't have good games after midnight really in their GMT. So during those times, the times when I have free time for poker but Sky can't really provide me with what I need, I'm going to be putting my time into learning PLO there instead. I'm in the process of moving my bankroll from 888 to PokerStars. I'm going to be starting this challenge with just a $300 roll. Right, so we've been raised and called here. We have top set. I think I'm going to get it in against draws here most of the time. There's going to be straight draws out there. Maybe one of the guys has this smaller set. Then we can get it in fantastic shape here. Obviously that's a brilliant turn card for us to complete break. Some more draws have developed, but obviously still going to get it in. And yeah, we're holding a really nice pot. That's one of my problems with the PLO at the minute, is sometimes when the board runs out, I have a real hard time figuring out where the pot's going to go to, because people just have so many extra cards to look at and consider. So yeah, this is the plan now. The plan is still primarily be a no limit hold'em player, of course. I rely on no limit hold'em for a decent part of my income, so I need to focus on that. But when I do have spare time, I'm going to put it into learning PLO. I've been speaking to a grinder school instructor, and I'm hopeful that he's going to be able to help me out in some way. Not sure if it's going to cost me any money yet, or if he's going to do it out of the goodness of his heart. I don't mind either way. I mean, I'm more than prepared to pay for some coaching, as long as it's good coaching, and definitely, if it helps me improve faster, it will definitely be money well spent. So yes, I will be getting some help soon from an experienced PLO player. And who knows, maybe we'll make some videos with him, either for this channel or for Grinder School, where I'm a new instructor there. And yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it. Really quite excited by the potential. So for this video, this is in no way a training video. If you normally watch my videos, my no limit videos, with a view to hoping to learn something from them, this isn't going to be the video for you. I very much doubt I'll be teaching anybody anything about PLO in the foreseeable future. But I am making a video because I think it's interesting to add some different content to my channel. I also think it's interesting for people to see a coach learning something new and how he goes about learning something new. Um, I think a lot of people associate coaches with like not really needing to learn anything more, but we're all constantly learning in poker. And I would imagine my PLO game is in a similar place as to many people's no limit hold'em gamers who come to me. So it's going to be a good exercise for me as a coach to be the person who's learning, to remind myself what it's like to not really understand perhaps some fundamental concepts of a game, because I'm pretty sure that I don't have all the fundamentals of pot limit Omaha down pat. I'm very, very sure of that. Yeah, I think I have good enough poker sense to survive in 10 PLO Zoom. I'd be surprised if I'm a losing player in 10 PLO Zoom, because I expect the game to be soft enough for somebody with my general poker sense and poker skills to be a losing player in. But I would imagine if I was playing 25 PLO on stars or 50 PLO on stars, my guess is I would be an underdog. I would be a favourite to lose money. Maybe not on 888 or Sky or something like that, but certainly on poker stars where there's going to be a lot of um, hardened PLO players who just have an awful lot more of the equities, the ranges and all of that sort of stuff nailed down better than me. Yeah, I think I'm certainly going to be an underdog in the harder games, but I do want to get in them. I would like to think that with the time I have to commit to this project, and hopefully, if I have success, I'd like to think that I could be playing 25 PLO by the end of the summer. That would be nice. That'd be a nice sub goal to have. Because just the general comment on the state of poker right now, I think having more than one string to your bow, if you're a poker player that relies on poker for part of your income, is going to be super important. Not think it's necessarily important if you're just a recreational player who wants to try and make some money from poker but doesn't need to. I don't think it's important to you really to have more than one string to your bow, but for somebody like myself who kind of who relies on poker now for his income and has a work-life balance that wants to keep poker in my life as part of my income, I think it's very important for me to diversify a little bit and to make sure that I can always be in good positions to find good games, whether that because no limit hold'em games are getting harder and harder to find, which is why I've moved to Sky recently to try and find some better games. So yeah, it's definitely getting harder and harder to find good no limit hold'em games, but I suspect there's probably tons and tons of good pot limit Omaha games running on a daily basis. Just right now, I'm not really in a position to capitalise on that, but I'd like to be in future. So this is where the learning starts now for me. I have two kings here on this board. He pots into two players. I'm just going to fold them. I don't think they're particularly valuable on that board. I think the value of overpairs in PLO, to me, to my mind at the moment, is that they're not particularly valuable. I mean, against some players, maybe in 3-bet or 4-bet pots they are, but in single race pots, on coordinated boards, it's my guess that overpairs are the sort of hands we typically want to be throwing away. I read something interesting about PLO a long time. It was just one line. It was one strap line from a player who gets a lot of stick on 2+2 in various places. A player called Lyman. I'm not sure if you're aware of him. He's a Los Angeles live game player. But I mean, he's been around poker for a long time. He's a survivor. He just knows what he's doing in poker in general. And he plays a lot of PLO now. And he commented that in No Limit Hold'em you get dealt hands. And in Pot Limit Omaha you get dealt draws, and that really did strike a chord with me, and it's changed the way I think about Pot Limit Omaha now. And I used to be really guilty of overplaying. I mean, this is tempting to 3-bet this hand. It's little somewhat connected, it's double suited, it's just kind of just two hold'em hands. It's not a particularly good Omaha hand, but I think for a 3-bet range on the button, I think it's going to play fine. Yeah, so he commented that you don't get dealt hands, you get dealt draws, and I thought that was, it made sense to me. It seemed really insightful to me, and now the kind of hand I'm looking for in Omaha now is going to be more hands with good drawing potential than hands with good made hands. Like this, it's not a bad made hand. It's 2 jacks and 2 high cards. But if what do I want to say here? I'm more interested in the drawing potential of this hand, with the nut flush draws and nut straight draw potential, than I am in just the fact that I have a pair of jacks and ace king. And maybe it's just a slightly different way of looking at a hand. Instead of looking at it for what its immediate value is, I'm looking at it for more now at what its potential value is. And that may be the right way to look at it, or may not be. Somebody might turn around to me and say, no, that's actually not really the way you want to look at it. But right now, that's how I am looking at it. Again, this hand here is going to be another hand that I'm going to want to 3-bet. It's double suited, somewhat connected, and I have position. So I'm going to be looking to 3-bet this type of hand because I think it's got some good drawing potential. If I get 4-bet, I'm probably going to be a call most of the time because we are very deep. It's going to take a stab at this box. I think if he doesn't have a jack, I think you have to fold here most of the time. I mean, he might not, who knows, but that kind of makes sense to me. These are sort of hands that I'm not so fond of. Low flushy, little bit connected, and just like a rubbish pair. I think having small and medium pairs in pot limit Omaha, in my opinion, they don't feel good to me. I think having a small medium pair as part of your hand takes an awful lot away from your hand. I'd rather have all my 4 cards kind of working together in flushing and straightening ways than I would there. I mean, 8-8 Jack 7, it does have some straight potential, but I mean, that could have been a tight 4 from the cutoff. That could be a really routine open. I don't know, but for me right now, how I think about PLO, it seems to me like it probably would be an okay open, but that's all. And because I'm new to the game, I don't want to be making too many just okay opens at the minute. I don't mind playing a little bit on the tighter side until I get a better handle on things, until I understand the game more. There's no point trying to play way too many hands, way more hands than I'm capable of playing. This is what happens a lot when I'm coaching no limit hold'em players. And they just play way too many hands pre-flop. The post-flop, they don't yet have the skills to deal with. I think the 8, 10, 9, 8 queen double suit is going to be a very easy open under the gun. I mean, I guess I could just 4-bet get in here because I'm going to be doing fine against aces and what have you. But I think there's enough left behind to play for where I can just call and try and hit a good flop for us and then go with it. And yeah, we have hit a good flop, so he's going to check shove here now. And that could still be beat, of course, but it's not like I can ever fold here, and we are beat. So we need to run good, and we did run good. I'm going to c-bet my top pair on flush draw. And here it looks very similar hand to the last one I opened, but I think it's significantly worse because we now have a pair of 10s rather than a 9. So I'm going to just fold that hand. So here, what do we have? A second nut flush draw, top pair, against someone with a green tag who's playing on a mobile phone. In no limit hold'em, this will be a super easy shove, top pair and a flush draw, but we have no nut flush draw. I'm just going to fold, and that could again be really, really, really nitty. But I just think if he's got my draw in rough shape there, and he's got like ace king and a better draw, I mean, I'm in really, really rough shape there. I'm not sure, could he have had ace king with a better draw? Let's just pull the hand up and see. Yeah, he could have had ace X of clubs with a king in his hand, so that could be a very, very, very nitty fold. But it's what I'm comfortable with. Here I'm just going to check back my pair of queens. No value in betting. I don't think he's going to fold anything worse, anything better. And not too much value in betting. I'm not going to open that. So I'm just going to fold to this turn lead. And what I have found myself doing when I've been playing a little bit of PLO is maybe it feels like I'm possibly folding just a little bit too much. But I think in the short term, folding a little bit too much is going to be way better than calling a little bit too much. I think we need to get into the regular habit of making some disciplined folds. That needs to be something I guess I need to be doing a lot of. I'm going to 3-bet my aces here, but I'm not thrilled about it because the pot's not going to be super big now, and then we're left with a pretty awkward SPR of 3. I mean, I guess I'm just going to pot it and get it in, but I think against his get it in range, he's going to have a bunch of equity against me, and I think this is one of the mistakes I make. I think I've already misplayed this hand. I think I'm about to make a mistake, but I'm going to go ahead and make it because he can just have draws, I guess. No, he just has top set. So, and fortunately I suck out, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. But yeah, I think I misplayed that hand. I think bet calling that hand there is probably quite bad spew. I think that's bad play by me. Quite disappointed with how I played that. I think I probably shouldn't have 3-bet pre. I think that was my biggest mistake there. I'm going to check call here because a bunch of draws have missed. And I kind of thought he may just bluff with, I mean, just about every single draw missed. The 3-4 got there, but everything else missed. Had I known he had 2 pairs, I obviously would have bet for value. And that's a no limit hold'em line that I will take that maybe isn't going to work as well in pot limit Omaha, where I check once all the draws break because it's just way more likely that he can have made hands with his draws there that can just check back and take the showdown more often, whereas in no limit hold'em usually when your draw misses you don't have an awful lot to fall back on, so you're more compelled to bluff. Perhaps that isn't going to be the same in pot limit Omaha, and maybe that was just going to be another bet fold. I decided to call this here. I wasn't happy with the 5, but at least it was suited. I'd rather the 5 was suited to the jack than the 10. I think it's only a subtle difference, but it's still a difference. And then once I've completely missed on this kind of board, I've no intention of trying to bluff at any point. I'm just going to give up with it. So even though I have mentioned that I hope to be getting some help from a grinder school instructor, I'm still going to welcome comments from anyone that has any decent pot limit Omaha experience, or anyone who just is wanting to learn pot limit Omaha and wants to discuss any of the hands in the video. If you just put a timestamp on whatever you're commenting, be that on Grinder School, on YouTube, on Reddit, whatever it is you find this video, please do get involved in the comments, because this is very much a learning process for me, and the more I can get to discuss points from the video with people outside of the video, the more beneficial it's going to be for me, for sure. So we now have, we have a lot of outs to a straight here, so the guy's checked twice, so I'm just going to bet. I think I'm going to pick the pot up a decent amount, and when I don't, I think I'm going to hit my draw a decent amount. A straight draw here on a flushing board. I think I'm going to get check raised a lot by draws on this board, so I'm not going to bet. And I'm not going to bluff this river. And I don't expect to win at all, but I don't expect him to fold very often either, so I'm just not going to bluff. Just going to give up. Maybe that would be the hand he would have folded, but maybe he would have folded that hand. But I don't think it's a big deal. Might be a big deal. Don't know. Doesn't seem like a big deal to me. I think we can bluff in pot limit Omaha. I just think Um, it helps if we have a lot of blockers to do it with. Um, and we didn't really block anything there, so no. Do I want to set my white queens here? Yes, I do. I'm not hugely fond of set mining in PLO. You can flop sets lots and lots and lots of the time and still get it all in and be flipping or whatever. And yeah, obviously making sets. Obviously making sets is nice. I'm just going to fold here. Obviously making sets is really nice, but it's certainly not the be all end all. I don't believe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe flopping sets is massively profitable in Omaha. I doubt it's anywhere near as profitable as it is in No Limit Hold'em. So if it's not as profitable, I guess we should have less desire to try and do it. I'm going to see bet this for value because it's a gentleman who, or a lady, who isn't playing a full stack and who is playing on a tablet. So there's a very good chance that they're not going to be the best Omaha player in the world. When I get check raise, I'm just going to fold, not care very much about it. Here we have like a cut shot to the nuts, and we have a really, and we have like an open end, a weakish open end straight draw. Still going to see bet. I think we can definitely call a race here if we do get race. We're plenty deep. We're backdoor flush draw too, which certainly doesn't hurt our cause. I will apologise if there is some dead air in the video. I don't want to just fill it with drivel really. I am trying to get as many of my general thoughts about pot limit Omaha out as possible during the video, but I don't just want to ramble either. So if there are some points where there isn't much talking going on, please try and bear with it. Do I want to 3-bet here? I can only 3-bet to 12 blinds, and I'm turning my hand pretty much face up. Or am I turning my hand face up? I don't know. I mean, I guess I am. But because we have the king and the suitedness, I'm going to do it. And we flop, top pair, backdoor flush draw. I think I have a problem here for c-bet for value. Do I have to fold to a raise? Is he always going to have like set of sevens, set of eights, eights and sevens, king eight, that kind of thing? So I'm just going to check back. Just try and control the size of the pot. When he checks again, I think I've probably got the best hand. So I'm going to start value betting because I do have my draw to compensate me for the times that he is in front. And now I'm just going to check by this river because it seems too thin to me. It seems too thin to bet again. I think it's just way too likely I'm going to be beat here by two pairs, random straights, those type of things. And I wasn't. That was probably the one hand I could have got a lot more value from. Or not the one hand, but one of the hands I could have got. I could have got a lot more value from. Double suited queens. I think it's going to be close to the bottom of my range for flat inverses. Flat inverses under the gun. We've been squeezed, which is somewhat unfortunate. And I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I guess if flush cal comes along with a call, I guess I'm going to call too. But it does just seem like this is a way to just passively leak money, because I'm only going to continue if I flop a set or some kind of two pair with my 6-4. So this feels like I'm going to be passively leaking money, but it also feels like folding would be a mistake too. So that's definitely one of the situations that I'm hoping to get more advice on quickly, because if I'm regularly making weak calls in 3-bet pots, it's going to be a mistake I'm going to want to rectify pretty damn quickly. So yeah, if you have any opinion on that spot, please do share it with me, because those are definitely the spots where I feel that I need to improve and quickly. That could have been a terrible call there for all I know. Or my plan to just flop a set could have been terrible. I honestly don't know. That's the honest answer. I don't know. No point pretending that I do know. I'm not trying to come across in these videos in any way sort of, look at me, I'm really good at everything I do. That is not what I'm trying to achieve here at all. Really much, I'm more than happy to point out my own weaknesses. I want to be very, very aware of my own weaknesses. So, yep, calling myself out on them is absolutely what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to peel once here because we have a good shot, as well as, you know, the potential of tripping up or something like that. When he blocks the turn like that, what do I think? I think he probably has a small flush. Problem is, I have no idea if he's going to fold a small flush if I raise, so I'm just going to fold. But in no limit holding, when I see those like weakish out of position turn double barrels, it's usually a spot where I'm going to try and get after somebody and apply a lot of pressure to them, because I don't think people can have very much in no limit holding very often when they're making that kind of bet. But in pot limit Omaha, I think people can maybe have it more often, and by it I just mean something that they're not bet folding. I'm going to call here just because we have suited ace on the button, and we have a player that's limped in under the gun who we're deep with, and getting to play deep in position with a hand that can make the nuts against somebody who might be bad seems like a good place to start to me. So we've got a good shot, backdoor flush draw, nothing much else going on, just going to check back, and that's a good turn card for us, I believe. It's going to fold here, and now the question here is, do I want to raise or not? Do I think my raise is going to have any fold equity? What can I make it for a start? Do I have enough fold equity to make this raise, or am I just going to get called in at least 2 spots? And I expect I'm not going to have very much fold equity, so I'm just going to call and try and make my hand. And I make a set, which it wasn't really what I was looking to make. I certainly won't be calling a big bet here. If this Tatuchenko bets big, I will not be calling it. I don't think I'm going to value bet either. It feels too thin to me. Might not be, but it feels too thin on a board that's pretty well connected. Here with my gut shot, my backdoor flush draw, I'm going to just peel. And we've turned trips, which kind of wasn't what I was hoping to do. I don't think it's really changed much, that queen. So I'm just going to check. I'm just going to try and fill up now. Hopefully we can fill up on the river. We don't. And Jack 10 has just got there if anyone's got it. And again, I'm going to make a really weak check back. This is another thing I'm really keen to learn very quickly, of exactly what is thin value on the rivers in these spots. In fact, I'm not going to check back because I think it is too weak. I'm going to make a value bet and hope I can get caught by hands like Queen Jack or something like that. No, we didn't. We got called, and that's kind of, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that was a good bet or a bad bet. It's certainly another hand that I'm surprised someone doesn't bet the nut straight there on the river. Was it the nut straight? It might not have been. I might be talking complete nonsense. Yeah, the nut straight. I understand it's a paired board, but I'm surprised with the turn action that someone didn't bet the river there with the nuts, or with what I would have considered the nuts if I was him. So, two questions there. Number one, was my river bet too thin? Number two, was my turn check back too weak? And I honestly don't know. I mean, if I could have the hand again, I probably still wouldn't bet the turn, although maybe I should when it checks to me. And maybe I wouldn't value bet the river, because it's a stretch to hope to get caught by a worse too often, unless and there's a really bad player in the pot, and because I'm playing without a HUD, it's a lot harder to have a clue whether we've got a bad player in the pot or not. I may well invest in a HUD further down the line. Well, in fact, I definitely will invest in a HUD further down the line. I don't think I need to just yet, but I probably will just get the Holder Manager 2 Omaha license when I get to a point where I'm going to be playing 25 or 50 PLO on Stars, or on whatever other site I decide to play on. I probably will then invest in an Omaha Manager license. I do have Omaha Manager for Holder Manager 1, but I'm not sure if that's going to be compatible with Zoom PLO. Very much doubt it will be. Right, so we can put half our stack in pre-flop with ACC, and we're not deep with anybody. If we were 200 blinds deep, I wouldn't like it as much, but we're not deep. So I'm just going to... I think it's very obvious I have 2 ACC when I do this. He probably does too, is my guess. No, he had 2 kings, which is obviously clearly very unfortunate for him. And they have 2 queens as well. Yeah, that, I guess, who knows? Maybe he should fold there when I fall bet. I don't think he should. Seems like he shouldn't, but that could be a fold. If I was in his situation there, I would have played the hand exactly the same way. So if he has made a mistake there, I'd like to know about it, because I would have done exactly the same as him. It does have to be said. I do think Pot Limit Omaha is a way more interesting and fun game than No Limit Hold'em. If we get ourselves in a really good No Limit Hold'em game, No Limit Hold'em can still be a fun pursuit. But I would say down the years, it's absolutely lost a decent amount of its entertainment factor for me. And maybe that's just because I'm getting a little bit stale with it. Who knows? Do I have a straight here? 7-4. Yes, I do have a straight. So I'm going to value bet it. I think this open would be too loose. Maybe it isn't. Who knows? I'm going to bet fold the river here. I don't think he's going to raise me without a bigger straight or a full house. And he didn't even raise with a bigger straight. So again, maybe that was too thin. Doesn't feel like it was, but maybe it was. I'm constantly preaching to my No Limit Hold'em students about the necessity to make sure we squeeze an awful lot of value out of every time we have a value hand, to make sure we squeeze every juice of value out of it. That could be a slight leak of mine when it comes to PLO, because that's a second value bet I've made in the river now that has been snapped off by a better hand. It could just be result orientated thinking in this particular session, but it could also be that I am just maybe going for a bit too much thin value. We flop the nuts here, so I'm going to start betting for value. If I get raised though, there's a chance that I will just call and then maybe check fold the turn. If it breaks off, I'm not going to check fold obviously, but I think there's a good chance that we could be getting free rolled there. So I certainly wouldn't be in a rush to get it in. If I think it's an important comment that I want to make here, that I think it would be a mistake to get it all in there with my nuts no redraw in a limped pot, in a pot that started so small. And I could be wrong, but I think I remember reading in Super System years ago, and I accept Super System is now very, very outdated, but I'm guessing that some concepts are going to hold true forever. And one, getting it in a small pot, get 100 blinds in there in that pot with the nuts and absolutely no redraw, I think it would probably be, I think it would be really spewy. Um, with a fold here. I think this is the hand that a typical Hold'em convert would want to play. But I just don't think it's anywhere near connected enough. For sure we have two flush draws. But yeah, maybe that's a tight fold. But I'm wary that I'm trying not to make mistakes that I believe a lot of no limit Hold'em converts to PLO would make, and I think that's one of them. If I thought this guy was a regular and maybe 3-betting would carry maybe just a little bit of fold equity, I would consider 3-betting here, but I don't think it does. And I called here because obviously I knew I was going to flop the nuts. I'm just going to donk out. I don't think people are going to c-bet these boards very often. So I'm just going to donk out, and I'm just going to keep donking out. Because if he does have a queen high flush here, I want to make sure that bets are going on every street. And we're just going to hope the board doesn't pair, and it doesn't. And unlike no limit Hold'em, where that would be a bad river card for us normally, it changes nothing in PLO, so it's going to bet and hope he has a queen high flush or a jack high flush or something, and bet really big. And who knows, maybe donking there is bad. So again, if donking there is bad, yeah, please tell me it's bad, but also please tell me why it's bad. I donked because I thought on that board texture he's going to check back with an awful lot of things that would call, which is why I went for the bet. 2 10s and an ace high flush draw versus under the gun. I think I'm going to call here on table 2. As long as it doesn't get 3-bet before it gets to me, of course. And we flopped pretty badly, so I'm just going to check fold now. No intention of putting any more money in this pot unless we get a free card and hit a 10 or a 9, which would be even better, I guess. Really weak kings versus under the gun range raises. I'm just going to set mine here or try and flop something that's even better than a set. I mean, when I say set mine, there's obviously some boards that I might still continue on. If it came down something like 2-2-5, I would probably check call once on that kind of board. On the ace-10-4 though, I'm just going to check fold. What I will do, excuse me, what I will do in when I get to maybe 10,000 hands, I will actually accompany the video on the forums with some stats of how I've been playing with my like VP, PFR, all that stuff, all the stuff people like to see. I know 10,000 hands is a pretty worthless sample, but it's something, and there might be something in there that a well-trained PLO I can see that can just say stop doing that now, or start doing this more. Yeah, so 10,000 hands isn't a good sample, but it's certainly it's going to carry enough indications if there is anything majorly wrong with my game. Don't feel like I have any huge, enormous leaks, but who knows? Maybe I have tons. Isolate here with a Jack 10-9-9. Very well, not very deep, but 200 blinds deep with somebody playing on a tablet. Seems like a good time to isolate to me with a playable hand. I'd rather swap the 9 for an 8. I'd rather swap that 9 of spades for the 8 of clubs ideally. and flop a cut shot. So over cards, I'm going to bet, because I don't particularly want to check call. If I get raised, I have a really easy fold. Maybe not so against this guy though, because of how deep we are. Maybe it's not going to be such an easy fold against him. I think barrel this turn is going to be way too thin, particularly since 4-5's just got there. Even though I don't expect to have 4-5 much, he could definitely have it. Ten doesn't really do anything to improve me, and when he just bombs the pot, he probably just has a straight. And my guess is, maybe I'm wrong there, but he probably just has a straight. Not in love with the 5 here. I'm going to fold. And I'm going to fold here too. I have absolutely no idea what my stats come out at when I play a PLO. I know what they used to come out at when I played an 888. They were around 27-20 or something like that from memory. I'm not sure if that's too tight or not. Although there's a lot more hands that seem like they're playable in PLO, I'm not really that sure there's too many more playable hands. I mean, maybe there is. Maybe we should be aiming to have a VP of over 30 in soft games. But I also think we can probably still just play a very taggy style and do just fine, especially in the micro-states games where people are going to be making a bunch of mistakes. So here we have an overpair, backdoor flush draw and a cut shot. But I think we're going to get check raised a lot on this board, because there's tons of draws, 2 pairs and things he can have sets. So I'm not going to fall into that trap and give him the opportunity to check raise me. Going to call here with these 7, 8, 9, 10. We flop a plethora of straight draws. Well, not a plethora, but some straight draws. So I think checking there is fine. And now I am just going to go for just a little bit of thin value on the river. Just going to give up here on table 1. This guy's tanking, so maybe he's weighing up a hero card with a jack. I mean, it's hardly a hero card, it's a tiny pot. But maybe he's weighing up calling with a jack. Hope he is anyway. Nope, he just folds. So yeah, I'm going to call it a day on the video in a sec, because I am running out of things to say for this session. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I've certainly enjoyed making it. I've enjoyed getting a lot of my early PLO thoughts out there for people to scrutinise. My early PLO play out there for people to scrutinise. And please, please do get involved. A lot of the videos I post, I get feedback that people enjoy them, but people don't really get involved that much about discussing the spots that we've been in the videos. I really would like a lot more interaction on these videos, if possible. If people have the time to give feedback, I'd really enjoy that. I think I'd get a lot from it. Hopefully the people will get a lot from it too. So we've turned trips here, which is obviously really nice. I'm going to bet for value again. Probably not be in love with the situation that we get raised. And ace 9 3 queen. I hate the 3. I think we could 3-bet here. In fact, I think we will. But I don't like the 3, which is kind of more why I 3-bet. If we had, say, the 10 of spades there instead, I may well just have peeled, and that could be a mistake too. Again, I think we can just see better the bluff here. I mean, we do have a good shot for what it's worth. I think we can definitely get him to fold a decent amount of pairs here that don't have two clubs. We're never going to get him to fold anything with two clubs, I wouldn't have thought. We're not certainly going to get him to fold 5x, although unless his 5 is a dangler, I don't think there's many hands with a 5 in that would call a 3-bet. When we get called, I'm just done with it though. Totally done with it. I was about to say, if we river a 2, I may well stick around if he bets, but probably not. And now I'm just going to fold. And this might be a good hand to end the video on. I'm going to cold 4-bet my aces here. And hope we can end the pot with end the video with an absolutely enormous flourish, which would be nice. Or go down in a blaze of glory, one of the two. Who knows? But I mean, I expect he's just going to fold here a lot of the time. My hand is going to look like aces a lot. Pretty worried now that he might have 2 kings. But do you mean to really try board? And the only hand I'm even close to being worried about is 2 kings. So when I'm only scared of one hand, I'm just going to shovel all the money in. And that is unfortunate. So, anyways, not the best of ways to end the video, but we ran good earlier in it, so I'm not going to complain too much. Let's just have a little look at his play, just so we can see what he did have there. He called my cold 4-bet, in my opinion, with what seems like a pretty bad hand to call a cold 4-bet with, when I'm probably going to have aces most of the time. I mean, I don't know, I could be talking absolute rubbish here, but when I called 4-bet there, I'm going to have a lot of ace-x, a lot of 2 aces in my range. So I mean, I think to me, if he'd have had Jack Queen 10-8, I think his call would have been way better. But I think when he has Ace King 10-8, yeah, I'm not fond of it. Maybe it's completely standard, I don't know. I'm not criticising the guy. I'm not talking because I lost a hand. I'm not trying to downplay because he beat me in the pot. I actually just think that maybe when my hand is going to be pretty much face up as 2 aces, defending Ace King there, even though it's double suited and pretty connected, it seems just marginally bad to me, and I feel Jack Queen 10-8 would have been better, but that could be absolute rubbish. So yeah, any feedback on how the villain played that hand and my analysis of how he played it would again be greatly appreciated. So for now, then we'll call it a day. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Good luck, and until the next time, take care. Bye bye for now.